Okay, guys, we are live. Friday night, it's the big one on Sunday. It's Manchester United, Liverpool at Old Trafford, 4:30. Be there or be square. We've three boys in the house tonight. The big names are coming. It's Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter, as usual. Ivan at Ivan Jennings on Twitter. And special guest, Conroy Talks in the house. How are you, Conroy?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Cheers for having me on. Happy to be here. Obviously excited to talk about the game. Got a little beer there, looking forward to it. But I wish the game was tomorrow now. I
Yeah.
finished work and I'm like ready. I'm ready just to wake up and be nervous from like 7 tomorrow morning. But I have to wait another day for that. But yeah, buzzing to get into it, mate.
No, yeah, big time. It's great having the trees, lads. I'll tell you what it is as well. I was talking to Ivan a few minutes ago, just before we came on. I was saying I'd be nervous around. I'm nervous around all games, but I'd be super nervous around this game because this is the big one for me. This is the one I always watch for when the fixtures come out, the home and away. What date are they? When are we at Old Trafford? When are we at Anfield against Manchester United? No matter how bad or poor or pissed they are, it's always a tough, bloody game. It just always is. So, Conroy, because he's a special guest, we'll ask you first. Conroy, is this the game you look forward to every season?
Yeah, no, for me it is. I think, actually, ironically, I think the Anfield one and the Old Trafford, I probably am most nervous for the Old Trafford game every year, without fail. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I've seen us be amazing and play terrible there. I've seen us be terrible and win there. So for me, I don't know, because obviously Liverpool's a massive club. There's a big international fan base. I know if you're maybe from Merseyside, the Everton game is maybe, I know Carragher was saying that the other day, that's his top game. But for me, it's always been Man United. When I was growing up, it was always like Fergie getting the better of us. I've said it before, but John O'Shea, I remember John O'Shea scoring the winner at Anfield, right? We dominated them.
I was at that match.
Mate, honestly, mate, that's ingrained in my head. Like that is honestly one of my worst. When he scored, to me, that was just like, what's the word that? It highlighted the time that Alex Ferguson had the whole, like the psychological advantage they had. Like we played great, they'd done nothing, and then they win the game just like they could. So even from those days, I just I get very, this is my game. Like hatred, I used to say hate. I'm kind of not sure, but the rivalry with United, to me, I just want to beat them. People saying, oh, they want United to get back in for the top four. Couldn't care less, mate. Could not care less. Could not care less. Could not care less. If you want a team who'd be a rival, right, who play good football, right, who there's maybe a bit of respect, there's enough teams right now who are like, even though with the introduction of City and maybe what Newcastle could do, you can enjoy watching them play football and there's maybe not a hatred there. But United, I couldn't care. They can continue this form for the next 20 years. I do not care. I had years of just, yeah, for me, this is the rivalry. I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't know if you guys agree, but for me, it's Man United, Liverpool, every game, every year. That's the one that I probably get as excited and as nervous about at the same time.
No, good answer, Conroy. Keith, you're similar.
Yeah, it's always been probably the bigger game in Ireland because there's such a big United fan base and an Irish fan base. Like even from on Merseyside, you'll have maybe half a family of Blues and Reds. You still see that mix happening. Maybe not as much as you used to, but you still see it. Like in Ireland, you could literally see United and Liverpool in the same household. So my dad's a United fan and my brother's a United fan. So that's mental. Both my two best mates are United fans. That I hang around with around and where I live. So you've got that in Ireland. It's pretty much split down the middle. It's very little bit.
One of my best mates a United fan as well. Just thought I'd add that in. So I feel you there.
So it is the biggest one because you've got that you've got the lead up to the game, you've got the banter coming up to the game, and then you're going to get ribbed during the game if you're beaten, and you're going to get all the shit that comes with it thereafter. So that's always been presence for us. And we go to pubs and we'd all sit in together. You'd have half the pub United and half the pub Liverpool, and that's just the way it's always been. So that rivalry has always been very, very strong in Ireland, and will continue to be so. Now, I think what you're starting to see now is you're almost starting to see some sort of, with the rise of Chelsea and City, and you're kind of seeing some sort of, it's almost a little bit of a dilution of that. And there's almost some sort of a kind of a pseudo begrudging respect kind of stuff coming through. But to be honest with you can fuck off at that. Because there's only one real rival from my perspective,
Absolutely.
And when you look at it, I suppose you look at the history of both clubs, and you look at the amount of, you know, like it's 41 senior really strong titles for United, 43 for Liverpool, and then the next one probably coming along is something like you know, Arsenal with 19 or 20 or something like that. You know, it's like the two sides are absolutely way out in front in terms of their success, you know, and long may it last, to be honest with you. I think that rivalry needs to stay as strong as it fucking does, because it spurs us all on as you know.
It actually spurs the whole bloody league on. It spurs the whole Premier League on. You know what I mean? Ivan, I'd say, yeah, you have to be in the same boat there, yeah?
Yeah. Like, love it. Love this fixture. Love the home fixture against them. I think, to Keith's point about the respect, like, definitely respect City. Definitely respect Chelsea. Fucking despise United. Everything about them. Every single thing about them. And there's a small element of respect there, I suppose, for the Fergie years. And like Keith and the lads have said, my cousins are United fans. My friends are United fans. Everybody I hook up with on social media is a United fan. And you know, while I'm not nervous about it, I embrace that the noise. I will get slaughtered on social media on Sunday if we lose.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm not afraid going into it. It's you know, when you're swimming with sharks, you're going to get bitten the odd time. But yeah, I absolutely love this game. I love it.
But they're generally under their rocks at the moment. You don't see them. They're all on the dark web somewhere, fucking chatting amongst themselves. You don't see them at all, right? So, like, you just want to make sure they stay there and just, like, you know, fucking just stay where you fucking are now under that fucking rock.
Like, I have a few of them in work as well, and they know I do this, and they're talking, oh, yeah, we'll be watching, you know, we'll talk to you. We'll see you Tuesday, you know, because it's a bank holiday here in Ireland, of course, so we'll be able to ease it off on Monday. We're not in work Monday, so that's a good thing. But it is huge. It always was huge. But you remember when back when I was following Liverpool, and you lads were, I don't know about what age Conroy is, but back in the 80s, I mean, even when United weren't, before Fergie, they always used to bleed and do us, you know. They always had something against us in cups. So they were always a niggle there. They were like a bloody hoodoo club. Yeah. And then when they overtook us in the 90s, in the Fergie year, when they were absolutely brilliant, winning everything in sight, most things in sight, and we were sort of coming into Old Trafford as the underdogs, basically. You know, we were beating them times where, you know, we'd no bloody chance. Yeah. So as Conroys, and like as you said, sometimes this game, I don't even know where the form works in this game. It's a derby. It's a Northwest derby. It's like a Celtic Rangers game nearly. Its form goes out the bloody window, and I'm a little nervous about this weekend. But hopefully you guys can making me less nervous with what you think Liverpool could. I think Liverpool turn up. Obviously, we're a better team. We'll beat them, but I still think these bastards, they'll just get something, a penalty or a Ronaldo penalty or a bleeding decision. Anthony Taylor thinks the referee, by the way. Isn't he a Manchester United
fan? He is. He's a United fan. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
So, Conroy, so what way do you think, I was listening to Klopp as well today. I mean, that game, I don't know whether you've seen the United game midweek where they were 2-0 down.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I knew they were going to win, though. I knew that was, and I was quite happy. I'm not happy. I couldn't care less. Genuinely, I won't watch a Manchester United game unless it's maybe the opposition I want to watch. And ironically, I do quite like Atlanta. When we played them, I know we scalped them, but I actually, when they had Papu Gomez, they actually were a really good team to watch, I think, under Gasperini. But I didn't bother, because I thought United always win those games. It doesn't matter, even when they've been poor. Like, you could just tell. And credit to Ronaldo. Like, I'm a Messi fan, but Ronaldo is unstoppable as a goal scorer. He's quite inevitable. And when the one thing I would say about Solskjaer's style is like the kind of like basketball style, going against them and getting the crosses in the box, is Ronaldo will score a lot of goals. I think most people knew that, and that will work. However, got to be honest, guys, right? For me, the biggest thing I always get pissed off with Liverpool is when they go to Old Trafford is they never, ever, ever do themselves justice. And I'll come out and say the only time Liverpool have ever done themselves justice at Old Trafford was under Brendan Rodgers when they scalped Moyes' team 3-0 and it could have been 6-0. Other times, Klopp, no, I don't think I've ever went there, albeit last season. However, no fans, and also we actually had a really poor run. But just in general, see, when we're at a top level, I never think we show Old Trafford. Even when we won the league, it's Andy Robertson cross. It luckily gets through to Lallana. We nick a draw. And the one thing I would say is, guys, is it does my head in, is I understand atmosphere and momentum, But see, like a Rangers Celtic game, you're both going for each other. I think we're a better team at controlling the game. So we should be looking to the first 20 minutes, just calm it down. Make that stadium go quiet. Ironically, Gary Neville says this all the time for Anfield with United. It should be the same. We should just go down there and kill the atmosphere. It shouldn't be about going blood and thunder at the start, for me anyway, because I feel like after those 20 minutes calm down, the quality takes over and we can just control the game. So that would be my take on it, because I do think sometimes we fall under the trap of let's all go for it, but that suits them because overall every position we've got the better quality, and I do think we're probably better at controlling in the midfield, because I know they'll talk about Fred and McTominay and stuff, but like in general we've got a better control in that midfield, whoever's playing, especially from our centre backs and the way they can play on the ball. So for me, that's my biggest annoyance. I feel like we give them something every single time we play them, and it does actually piss me off. I don't know if you guys agree. I feel like we make it more of a contest than it needs to be at times.
Do we show them too much respect?
I don't know if it just gets a bit much. I think, see, at Old Trafford, Dave, and I'm not just, you can analyse this, you can say this. I genuinely think Liverpool do have a bit of a psychological problem at Old Trafford. I've said this a few times. Like, even when we've drew, it seems to be like, we'll never go for the kill because we're just, I don't know what it is. We always seem to play within ourselves, albeit last season we didn't. So maybe there's positives to take from that.
Yeah, I'd scratch last season, to be fair, but you're spot on, and we were talking about it before we came on. To your point, we need to take the emotion out of the game and forget that it's Old Trafford, forget that it's United, and just plan for a match almost, and just take it calmly and quieten that crowd, as you say.
We can afford to be patient. We can afford to be patient.
Absolutely.
It's not like other times when they could, like, they want us to come at them because, as that comment says, they want to get us on the break. So we will have time, I think, anyway.
What do you think, Keito?
I've a couple of things about that. So let's just park what's happened in the past, right? For now, and I think you're dead right, and we've always had a hang up going there. You're 100% correct there, and we rarely do ourselves justice, and particularly when we're in the ascendancy in terms of where we are, right?
When we're playing good, we're never good there. It's so weird. It's strange.
But where I have, and I'm not going to give Dave any reassurance, I suppose, and I know he's looking for reassurance. Where I have slight concerns this season is that I still think we're still trying to find our feet, and I haven't seen many games where we've exerted the control that you say that we need to exert, right? Because you look at the point in case, certainly against Brentford, and certainly against Atletico. At 2-0 up against Atletico with the style of football that they play, we should have shut that fucking game down, right? And just fucking played football, right? And we should have gone in, protected what we had, and looked to counterattack them. Instead, we go hell for leather. We give them a sniff, right? And then we continue to do it in the second half, even after we got the lead. We're coughing up possession. We're not retaining possession. There's zero control. It almost feels like we're back to where Klopp when he took us over. We are now the great entertainers. We are back to being the great entertainers that we were a few seasons ago. Everybody wants to watch us, and the reason why they want to watch us is that we can score 3 and we can concede 3 equally as well now at the moment. We don't seem to have the control at the moment, right? Now, I'd say that's probably due to a load of reasons. We haven't had a solid amount of games under our belts due to the international breaks over the last couple of weeks. It's very hard. You've got a load of players coming back in. There's a load of factors, right? Great, fantastic. There's a load of factors there. Fact still remains, I'm yet to see us go out there and do a really controlled performance similar to when we won the league, whereby as soon as we went 1 up, it was like, do you know what? That's it now, done. Because we're closing games down. We're playing the way we need to play. We're not doing that now at the moment. And I think there's a bit of uncertainty at the back. I think the fact that we're mixing and matching midfield, we have not had a solid midfield since the start of the season, is all playing into that. So I think this game is going to come at a point in time where Klopp may not have any other option but to say, fuck it, let's just go for them, go for the juggler and play it out, and let's just do shootout, right, and see where we end. I don't know whether or not we're going to have the personnel to be able to close this down the weekend, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a shootout.
But do you think their midfield's better than us, though, mate, when it comes to winning this battle midfield? So, see, that's why I would look like, I think like other midfields have maybe got better legs and more continuity. Whereas I think if they play Fred, Matic or McTominay, I just think whoever we play, I agree we've been not great, right, at holding it. But I do think in this game that we are good enough, and I do think it's going to sound strange, but United against Liverpool, I think in their head, Klopp's going to know And they're not going to. I actually think the Atletico game, the second goal is what killed us, because if we don't score the second goal, we don't get complacent, and then that caused that. I do agree, mate. I think the Brentford game's a prime example, but I thought everybody on the park was awful. They were lucky to get over 4 in that game. I thought everybody was not good.
Yeah.
Especially, the attack was, but midfield and defence pretty poor. I just think because it's the occasion, I look at their midfield and I think we can control more than their midfield and their defence can. So,
but they're not going to play through our midfield, lads.
Yeah, I think
the ball's going to break down. Sorry, Ivan. The ball's going to break. What's going to happen there is we're going to have possession, right? And we will dominate from a midfield perspective, okay? And we will have more of the ball. And we probably go to Old Trafford and come away with 65% possession, right? On average, maybe 65%. But what's going to happen, right? And I can see it fucking happen because it's happened the last couple of seasons, is that Mane, Salah, or whoever plays up front is not going to be able to hold up the ball. They're going to cough up possession, and then they're going to get their head up, and it's going to get pinged, right? And it's going to get pinged down the channel. And we're going to have such a high line that that's the way they're going to play. They're going to bypass midfield. They're not going to try and play through us at all. And that's where my concern is.
So would you sit deep? Would you sit deep? Would you let them come onto you?
No, that's not it. I just think we need to be better in terms of our ball retention. We need to be better. We need to recycle. So the ball comes into feet, the ball comes off. At the moment, and it happened against Atletico, at the start, first 13 minutes, Salah holds the ball up, Mane holds the ball up, Bobby's coming back into midfield, he's holding the ball up, right? And he's bringing it back into midfield. All of a sudden, then they start getting their foot in, right? And we start coughing up possession. And as soon as we coughed up possession, lads, it was 1-2-3 pass. There wasn't even any opportunity, apart from Keita. All right, he could have done a lot better in certain scenarios. But generally, they were looking to get their head up and ping it, you know, and Alisson comes out to save us from 2 goals with one-on-ones from long balls pinged over the top. Now, that is the blueprint, and I'd be amazed if he doesn't follow that.
But that's the gamble you play. If you want to be a dominating force, that's what you're going to have to drop. Like, these players are not programmed to be robots. They're going to take chances. Like, Bobby Firmino is not going to play 5 yards passes for 90 minutes. He's always going to look for that through ball. That's just the way you need to accept. I've accepted that that's just the way he is. And that's the game Klopp's going to play. And it's been successful, to be honest. Not in this game at times, but I get what you're saying, mate. But I just think, I think I'm usually not confident at Old Trafford, but I do think with the team we put out, they'll sit back, and I just think we'll have enough. But I do agree we need to be better on the ball. But because of the occasion, I can't see us being sloppy like we were against Atletico or Brentford. Because I feel like the Brentford game, we thought, we're clear here. Then Mosalah misses a sitter, and he's been amazing. But if he scores that, we win. And then Atletico, I feel like the second goal, again, the complacency. I don't think there'll be that complacency. And I do understand what you're saying, though, because it does my head in as well when Mane is the prime suspect for it, and Firmino as well. When they go about the centre circle, like they're at the edge of the box, you can't act like that at the centre circle, because if you lose it there, one pass and it comes in.
And that's where I'm going at, because it's, you know, they're facing. It's a different transition. If you're trying to play the ball in behind or flick the ball in behind, pretty much as everyone turned onto the ball. It's that time where you actually get turned over with your back to play, where everyone's pushing on, looking for the ball. You know, and the ball is just nicked away, and all of a sudden then it's into somebody who just gets their head up. And everyone's facing the play, and it's pinged over. It's so important that our front three actually allow us to build.
It's Firmino, isn't it? Firmino's just he loves to just, like, he just plays the way he plays, and I've been screaming at my TV several times because I know exactly what you're talking about. Firmino's the worst for it, but it's just the way he plays, isn't it? It's very hard to take that creative side out of the player. However, maybe an option on that would be play Jota. No, I know he's got a great record against United, but
Bobby scored 2. Bobby scored 2 there in when was it, in May? Well, the game that didn't go ahead, that went ahead. That won't be able to protest this week, I wouldn't say. They probably had the protesting flags ready, and then he said put them back underneath the stairs because we're after beating Atalanta. So I mean, that's how crazy it is. Ivan, do you agree with what the two lads were saying?
I think Keith's being harsh, right? So, like, the way I look about it, and I don't have me red glasses on, but the Brentford game was such an anomaly, and I know this sounds really like Fisher-Price, but they played 2 strikers, and nobody plays 2 strikers. And I think that was the root of the problem there, right? And I think with Atletico during the week, we were 2 up after 13 minutes. Yeah. Like, you're not going to sit back after 13 minutes, right? And we were talking beforehand, Fabinho was the issue there.
We missed him badly.
As soon as he came on, it was a different game. Those balls coming in, and it'll be the same on Sunday. He He supports the two centre backs. He cuts out those balls into. I think Ronaldo's going to be playing, right? He'll cut them out. He gives you so much more solidity. And as good as Henderson is at the 6, he's nowhere near Fabinho. He's not. He's a shadow of him, you know. So I think you're being harsh, Keith. I think you're being harsh.
No, and listen, that's fine. It's you know, no issue with that. No issue with that now whatsoever. I just think in phases of the game, okay, we have not shown as much, you know, as much control and game management as we should. Right now, you still even look at the Atletico match during the week, and at 3-2 up, we're still doing stupid shit. We're doing absolutely fucking mind-boggling shit now on the football, trying to get an extra goal, right? And that's fine. That's the way we play. If that's the way it is, we throw it all out. But at some point in time, you've got to put your foot in the ball. You've got to build some play, kill some time, kill momentum of other teams, play for possession, play for territory, buy a free, bum, bum, bum. I'm not seeing any of that from us now at the moment, right? And I think it could be the difference between, you know, winning and losing at the business end of the season with some of the stuff. So I don't know what it is, to be honest with you. And maybe it's because we've had a lot of transition of players coming through in different positions, right? Which we have, apart from the back four, right? Apparently we should be fairly solid. But we need to get a little bit clever in situations, right? We need to get a little bit clever.
Yeah, I think the high line is possibly a problem. Like, I think when I totally agree with the high line, and we have the players to support that, right? But if one thing isn't working in that system, right?
Yeah.
The high line only works if the top 3 lads are at 100% pressing, and then the midfield doing the same. Now, if you're
not coughing up possession, right? Easy possession.
Now, we were doing this last season, right? And if you remember, there was a lot of commentary about the really high line. He cut that back by 10 yards, you know, when he brought the likes of Nat Phillips in. And maybe that's soften that kind of whole approach a little bit. He's not going to change. He's not going to change, right?
We were less effective in front of goal. We didn't score any goals, you know. So that's the fucking trade. So listen, I think. Sorry, I'll stop fucking talking too much here. I think our system where we bomb on, right, with our 2 fullbacks, the 2 centre backs have enough pace and enough guile about them to be able to get us out of any amount of shit, right? But you're right, Ivan, 100% right. The rest of the system needs to be firing, right? We need to be pressing. We need to stop turnovers. And if we do cough up the ball, we need to make sure we're not allowing somebody, you know, good on the ball who has 5, 6, 7 seconds to get his head up and ping a ball 40 yards in behind. Because irrespective of how good we are at the back, and the lads are coming back, if it goes down Matip's channel with Trent bombing on, right? Yeah. You know, that's an issue. That's a fucking problem because we don't have the recovery speed. We simply don't. So you're right. I actually think when we're on it, playing our system, we'll squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. But when you go back 2 seasons, there was patience, right? We played like that for as long as it took. We just kept squeezing, kept recycling, going through the phases, recycling, and then we got our reward. It just feels very rushed now at the moment. Very rushed. We're not recycling too much. We're looking for killer ball. Take our time. Recycle the ball. Protect the ball.
Do you not think the actual season before that is the best you've seen Liverpool play? See, 18-19, for me,
sure.
that's the best balance because it wasn't gung-ho. And the season we won the league, I actually think it was sometimes too much recycle. I'm not too much recycle, but pass, which is great. But there was games we won that I think you'd play that again and you would draw. Like certain things happened, which was great, grit and determination. But that was the mentality. However, 18-19 was the first time that I thought we were destroying teams and they were getting nothing from us. Like they couldn't get in behind.
Yeah.
I
think
that's the best
late
football.
Goals in that season.
We didn't win the league that year.
Yeah, and we did win the league. Well, I can remember Aston Villa, West Ham. You know, there's a plethora of 85 minutes to 90
minutes.
Well,
that's the year we won the league.
The year before that.
Year before that. But like what I was saying is that's the best football I've seen. And to be fair, mate, we got 97 points and we got 99 the year after. So it's not a big difference, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. But you know what? It boils down to very small margins, very fine margins.
But what I'm saying is, you've got the way we're playing now. It's not even like we're playing. It's not even like the year before we won the league because even then there was still a balance that we're solid at the back. We're just probably a bit not intricate, but we're properly beating teams and wiping them with the floor. Whereas I think when we won the league, we're maybe winning 1-0, 2-0, and then scored a few late goals, and it looks like a hammering, but it's not always been a hammering. But I do agree with you're saying though, like to a certain extent, because see if this wasn't United, I wouldn't be worried slightly, but because I know at times certain players just cave is the wrong word, but I guarantee one of our front three will probably be quite poor on the ball, or maybe not have a great game. It always seems to be the way.
Really been good in this fixture. You know,
Salah?
I know he hasn't though.
What?
The likes of Shaw has bullied him.
If you take last year out
he
of
has
account,
been bullied in games.
He did score 4 last year, didn't he? Because he scored 4 at 2 games at Old Trafford last year. But that you can maybe see the fans.
2 in the cup. He got 2 in the cup, didn't he?
Yeah.
Listen, what would you do?
Listen, like, you know, Grant, right? Like, we've scored fucking 3 goals in every away match for the nice fucking 9 matches, right? So listen, it's not fucking doom and gloom here, lads. We're doing all right. All I'm just saying is it almost feels like we're building towards something, right? But it also feels like we need to have some solidity, right, in terms of our starting lineup, right? Like, hopefully we start, and I think it mostly revolves around midfield.
I'm going to ask you, what's your lineup?
Well, just before you do that, like Keith, you made a really good point about the international football. It's screwing us. It really is, you know. And I know we've got our favoured first 11 or who we think's going to, like Fabinho's always going to play, and when he's not there, it's like almost like Genie going, you know, we have another replacement, but he's nowhere near as good. And it's, in
fairness, though, Fabinho's not been amazing as of late. Like, albeit the last game. No, the last game was good, but 2 games before that, he wasn't good. Because again, you'd probably say City and who was the game before that? Was it Brentford? Was it Brentford? He was quite poor. He was quite poor in both of them. So let's not. I love Fabinho, but let's not make him above everyone else. He's not been great either, to be honest.
I still think you miss him, Conroy. I think you miss his experience.
No, of course you miss him. But what I mean is, what I'm meaning is that everyone can have a poor game. Like Henderson's had a bit of bad run of form, but before that, I actually thought Henderson started the season quite well. Like, and I think it's just the narrative now that he's having a bad season. I don't think he actually is. What I was meaning is,
to call out bad seasons, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, everyone is going to have bad games now and again. That's what I was meaning with the Fabinho shout. Of course, you're going to start on, but I think sometimes we're a bit too reactive when someone's no being unbelievable. That's all I was meaning.
It's what we expect. They've built themselves up so bloody high that if they drop below like a 7 out of 10, it's wow, he's in trouble. He's playing brutal. Yeah. But so guys, what do you think? So obviously Sunday starting 11. Obviously, team news wise, Thiago won't make it. He's 2 or 3 weeks away at this stage, probably after the international break.
He would be brilliant for this game. Actually, he would. Yeah, I would control. He would have been good for that.
Yeah, we unfortunately we ain't got him. I think Curtis Jones trained the last year. He had a full day's training today. I think it's too early for him to start the game, but you might see him on the bench. What would you go with, Keith? What's your 11 for Sunday for Liverpool?
Back 4 as is, front 3 as is.
It's the midfield, is it?
It's Fabinho. It's Henderson on the right.
Yeah.
And because of the importance of the game, I would throw Jones in. I would throw Jones in on the left-hand side.
Okay. All right.
And the reason I would throw Jones in on the left-hand side is I think what we're missing at the moment is somebody who can carry the ball. Okay. I think Henderson should be able to do it for whatever reason at the moment. He seems quite keen and eager to get the ball away from him, right? And he seems to be playing it into channels and playing it into space as opposed to finding people. So I'd love to have somebody else in there who can carry the ball, right? In terms of take it into contact, recycle the ball, lay the ball off, right? And I don't think we've got anybody on the team who can do that. Appreciating he's been off for a couple of weeks, all right? But I thought he was brilliant before he got that niggle, to be honest with you. I'd have no issue with throwing Casey back in again either, to be honest with you, because I think it's a completely different type of game. No, I think it's a completely different type of game. I don't think we're going to have a battle in midfield like we would have had the other night. I don't think there's going to be anyone playing through us in the middle of the park, to be honest with you. That's not the way it's going to be. It's going to be, it's going to be long balls. It's going to be a lot of long balls into channels. So it's that's it. I think it's too much for Milner. I just think it's too much. I think he'd be bollocks off towards the minutes.
Too many games, yeah. Conroy, what do you think? Would you go the same?
I've kind of been changing my mind a few times. I feel like if it's...
I'm like that myself.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's like strip away how many games I've played, I go Milner, Hendo, and Fabinho just because I know what you're going to get, right?
Yeah,
but on
yeah.
the point about Milner's probably, I don't like to say he's tired because the guy is like a machine. He's unbelievable, but I do feel like if you start him this game, you already know you're going to take him off at 60. So
Yeah.
it's just one of them. I think it might just be a game too much, and it's like
You've basically used the sub up straight away, haven't you?
There's certain games
you know what
that's fine, Dave. There's certain games that's absolutely fine in this game. But the only thing that's sticking in my head is I just feel like Keita, sometimes he'll have these big moments and chances.
Annoying.
Like he scores a screamer, and then I'm not saying he's all at fault because I'm not going to be that guy, but he has a really poor game following the goal. Or the goal that goes in, he just completely goes. His head goes.
His positional sense was very poor for both.
Well, I'm a bit worried because there's a chance that United will take the lead. Like that could happen. We all accept that could happen, but you just can't get emotional. And for me, I would actually go with Jones. I just don't think he'll start. He won't start because he just trained. I'd be surprised if he did. So I will say Milner. However, I could see any other shouts. What about the only player who played well the other night who came on? Who is Ox? But I can't see him starting at Old Trafford.
I'll tell you what,
he was good. He was good.
He must be pushing for a start. I really do think he's a chance here. I do. What do you think?
I think he was very effective when he came on, and I think that cameo performance was fantastic. And I think
I think he's in a show. I think he's in with a show.
Yeah, I wouldn't start him.
Do you think them having 10 men had something to do with that though? Because they had 10 men when he came on, if I'm right. So. Atletico are still good, but you're going to have, you should have more of the ball. Liverpool done their best to not do that, but
yeah, exactly.
You should.
I've never seen, at the top level, I've never seen such a poor fucking it's a really hard place to go to. And but like when they get sent off, I'm like, oh fuck, this is just kick back now, lads. Play around them, play football, run them into the fucking ground for 10 minutes. They'll have nothing left, and then it's just like cough it up. But
the result was amazing though, and I was buzzing with the result. The result was,
do you know what?
It was to be enjoyed.
There was so much bloody negativity, lads, as well though. We're after beating, I know it's against 10 men and all that second half, but we're after beating Atletico Madrid, Spanish champions, 3-2. We never beat them there.
No, I know.
I know there was bits about the game. I don't care about that because that's what Atletico Madrid do.
I was buzzing. We never beat them. We never beat them at all. I was buzzing.
And as I said on Twitter, Mosalah running down the wing, Diogo Simeone running down the tunnel, baby.
I know.
That's what he was doing. But I loved it. Run to the tunnel.
Thing though, right? The other thing though is you toss the coin with that game the other night, and they get a fucking penalty. And they're all over us for the last few minutes looking for the fucking winner. Like that could easily have happened. That could easily have happened.
We did well getting in a half fucking time at 2-2. I said to you, if we can get in here at half time, because they were all over us. It was 2-2. It was going to go 3-2. If they went in at 3-2, it's a different game second half. Getting in at 2-2, relax, ease it down. He gets sent off early second half. It's a totally different game.
I just think we need some games to be the finished article. We need some consistency to be the finished article, to be honest with you.
Even Van Dijk.
Really important to beat United.
I mean, Van Dijk's only easing himself in as well out with a bleeding injury. Like, I heard him being interviewed for that game saying that he's still not 100% himself. He's not. Yeah. It'll probably be Christmas before he's bleeding back to his best. Do you know what I'm saying? So, Ivan, what 11 would you go with?
Yeah, so back fours as it is, front three as it is, and I think it's Fabinho, Henderson, and Keita in midfield.
You're sticking with Keita.
Definitely. I don't think he had a particularly bad game, but for the mistakes, but the midfield was
punished,
overall,
weren't they?
They're punished. Yeah,
it was shocking. And as Keith saying, it's Real or it's Atletico Madrid. They haven't been beaten at home in 4 years. They haven't conceded 3 goals under Simeone ever. Do you know what I mean? This is a top team.
And you look at Joe Felix. What was his fucking transfer fee, lads?
Exactly, madness.
What was his transfer fee?
A lot.
A lot.
100 mil. But he
comes cases. So that's what you get with 100 mil.
Yeah.
You get shit like that.
Yeah,
So.
no, exactly. On the bench as well.
He'll move though, Joe Felix. He's still young. He'll go to a team that offers more freedom for him as a player. Because he's actually very good. He's a very good player.
But Eamon saying we were playing against 10 men, and we won the game. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how badly you play, how lucky you are. Get the bleeding win and move on.
Yeah, you got to look at games, though. You got to look at games.
I know. Of course you do. We didn't do it against Chelsea, remember? We were playing the whole second half. Salah scores the penalty. We go in. We're level. Let's go second half. And to be honest,
but
Chelsea,
we're only
that
starting the
was a defensive
season very early
masterclass.
on in the season.
Yeah.
But see, I disagree. See, from your 10 men, you should be better on the ball against Chelsea. So it doesn't matter if they're a masterclass or a mantelpiece. You should just be better because you've got extra man and you need to use your width. Liverpool,
I thought they were superb at the back though against us. They really were.
But mate, okay, right. So Chelsea v Zenit, right? Poor full game, right? Need a goal. What do they do? That's why they've got Lukaku. They can put a ball in the box. See, if you've got a number 9, you can get ugly wins. With our team, you very rarely get ugly wins. And that's just, this is still the football we have. That's great. But if you've got a proper number 9, you can afford to do that. Do not tell me that Bobby Firmino or Diego Jota scare defenders into presence when they try to whip balls in. Come on, right? So it's a defensive masterclass, but it's not exactly like you've got an amazing centre forward in the box where they're going to have to pen in for them lives. I disagree with that. I think Liverpool were limited to shots from out range that made it look like I get what you're saying. Chelsea were great for having 10 men, and Tuchel's tactics, the way he broke it down was brilliant. But I do think that's I'm not going to get into my feelings on that, but Liverpool really do miss a trick of not having a number 9 to come on and save games because it's all about the philosophy. It's like, no, not really. If we, instead of Divock Origi, if we had someone like
Harry Kane.
But even take away from that, even like a Giroud,
Crouch.
or even you look at like a Callum Wilson, something like that, or even you say a Crouch, but for me, I'm not even talking like a massive. I'm just someone who's just a born number 9.
Yeah.
It gives you that plan B when your game plan has failed. Then you can rescue it, because literally Alex Ferguson won several titles by having plan Bs like that. But football right now, it seems to be you don't seem to do that.
That was the refs.
Yeah, but see, like Chelsea beating Zenit's the prime example. If you've got, I'm not saying you need a Harry Kane. I just think Liverpool still need a number 9 to take Origi out that team. You need someone on the bench who can come on and save you games. Because if you think you can play well every game, you're deluded. It's never going to happen. It's like
the other thing, and we haven't seen it so much just due to the nature of the teams we've played. But we're going to hit a block of games whereby teams are going to go 4-4, right? And they're going to just fuck it and close down the space, and that's what we're going to do. We haven't really had that, to be honest with you, with the fixtures that we've had. To be honest with you, I think we might have had one, maybe Burnley, you know. But most of the games, like Brentford, basically came out to play. We played then against, you know, we've had some top sides.
Palace came. They played.
They came to play football. They'd nothing to lose, so we haven't come across that. And it would have been an argument, Conroy. I would have been going through all last year, is that, you know, when it gets to that particular point in time where, you know, there's no space and all the passing lanes have been closed off, and you're not going to feed the ball in behind, and we're not City, we don't work the ball down, we don't overload the wings to get balls back in with runners into the box. We're quite poor in that regard. We don't have a 9. We don't have somebody who can come on and just know where the space is in the box and get their head in the ball.
Like a Jimenez, for example. A Jimenez before he's injured in the prime example of that. But don't get me wrong, I do agree with Ivan saying, like, I think Tuchel is probably he's probably, for me, the best adaptable manager in the Premier League right now in such situations or teams he's playing against to disrupt them. He's very good at that. So maybe I was exaggerating. Tuchel's classmate, and that was a great performance. It's more because I get annoyed that you could have sold Origi, and there's lots of good strikers who are available who are not massive money, who could do more from our bench.
But if you look at it, like Klopp's decision to have an alternative or to have a plan B was Thiago. It wasn't a striker. Do you know what I mean? He looked at the midfield and how he could tweak that rather than the front three, which I think he's quite happy with. I just don't see, like, I think Origi's a bit of an anomaly, isn't he? Like, he's so different to the other players. You're kind of going, why did we ever go for him, kind of thing, you know?
Like, there has to be an evolution for this side in any way, because those 3 boys up front are not going to last forever, right? And we're not going to be able to replace them, you know, with 3 like-for-like players. That's not going to fucking happen. So the team will have to evolve at some stage into something else, right? In terms of a 9. I don't think we're going to see it probably this
I think Salah's going to be our 9. I think Salah is going to go like
Ronaldo. But I don't even mean like sort of 9 who starts all the time. I just mean a 9 who makes an impact.
Oh, I know
and Salah's not a 9 who makes an impact. Not when you're chasing a game. Like, obviously makes an impact, but he's not like going to win headers, is he?
Super sub,
Yeah, and there's lots out there. There's lots of missed opportunities.
I like your point on Giroud.
I actually like Giroud because he's actually good on the floor as well.
He's very good.
You know what I mean?
1
Yeah,
mil.
it's
How much did Milan get him for? It was it like 4
Mickey
million
Mouse
or
money.
something.
Mickey fucking
Mental.
Mouse money. Yeah.
So-
Wasn't a packet of Skittles and a Mars bar and
Yeah.
juicy fruit. That's what they got him for.
A
But
season
we've been
ticket at
amazing.
Man City.
I'm picking. I'm clutching it like I'm. What is it? Pulling
Clutching
hairs
straws.
here.
Yeah.
They're still clutching. We have been amazing. It's
Clutching
just
straws.
that's maybe some the conversation for summer, because I think, Keith, you're right. There will be games that will come up, not as much this season, but you see it. You will see it when you see pundits who are on 100 grand a year saying, "Oh, they've got a low block." I'm like, "Oh, that's great, mate." Every person on YouTube could have told me that. Go and give me a bit more insight than that. They've got a
Yeah.
low block. What, they've got
Yeah.
10 men behind the ball, right? It's
Yeah.
like, it does annoy me. And I'm like, well, what did you think they were going to do? They're going to come to Anfield and just open like the Red Sea. Come on. So that's the one thing I'm worried about. But do you know
Yeah.
what? That's not this season's problem. That'll be next summer.
I'd love to see some maturity, right? I'd love to see some maturity, and I'd love to see some patience at Old Trafford, right? Like, do what we do right. Get on the ball, right? Start playing our football. You know, all of our patterns, pressing, you know, turning the ball back over, building, right? And then be clinical, right? And I think if we can do that, I think we can come away with something. I think if we go there and start coughing up the ball, right? And not bringing our A game there, I can see it being a shootout, right? I can see it being a shootout. Or we go there, as Eamon has just said there, we go there not to lose. They're fucking happy enough not to lose, and it's a fucking 0-0 fucking Borefest.
We take a draw beforehand,
and that could easily happen.
Would you
Where we
take a
take it
draw?
and move on.
What do you guys?
No.
No, I
Nah,
wouldn't take a
way.
draw. I wouldn't take a draw with the fixtures that City and Chelsea have coming
No
up,
way.
which are very winnable.
No, after the 2 draws at home against your top 3 rivals from us,
Yeah, you
because
gotta
City beats Chelsea Stamford Bridge, massive result. Not enough people are talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then drew at
Agree with you.
Anfield, right? We Chelsea at home fluffed our lines. Man City at home fluffed. Well, not fluffed our lines. To be fair, Man City are a great team, but like we drew that one. I can accept one of them, but that means we need to go to the Etihad and Stamford Bridge now.
Or one of them.
We really
Yeah.
need to get a result at Old Trafford, because I feel like
Yeah.
we can't not win 3 of those away games. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
being too simplistic about it, but
No,
I just can't
that's
see
right.
them dropping that many points.
Yeah.
The only thing
No.
about this season is that I think there's going to be a lot of. I think that the results against the teams around you are going to be pivotal. So you're probably right there, to be honest with you. We're going to need to go to one of those and at least get draws and then see how we are in and around that. But that means that we have to be fucking clinical, right, and ruthless to the next block of 3 teams below that. Like, obviously City have lost to Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? So we need to fucking put them to the sword. So if we can cancel out those results from a draw perspective, we need to make sure we're beating fucking everybody else, you know, as much as we can. I think this is probably, you know, in terms of the next block of games coming up, I think it's really important we win this. I really
It's
do.
huge. It's a huge
Yeah.
game. I mean, it is a huge game. It always is a huge game, but it's even bigger. You've just made it bigger there, Keith. But the other thing is, that's what Liverpool do. We know what Liverpool do. I think Liverpool play their game. They bring their A game. I think we beat them. We're a better team. It won't be easy. It's Old Trafford. But what do United do? I mean, what do they do? Liverpool are coming here. They know they're a better team, better manager straight away. What do United do, Conroy? Did they say, fuck it, we'll go for it? We're at home. The crowd will be baying.
But see, the thing is, right, I don't know if you've caught the BT analysis, and, you know, I'm going to give him a shout out. I thought Paul Scholes was spot on.
Spot
like,
on.
he actually was spot on. He
I
really
gave
was.
him a spot on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah,
Recently.
you got to give him credit. Like, as much as I know some other former players talk nonsense or maybe just cloud their judgment all the time, I've heard him talk about United in the past, and I don't think he has been too, like, you know, kind of blowing it up them to make them sound better. I think he's been relatively quite honest in the past, so I'll give him his credit there. So when he said it the other night, I wasn't surprised. It was like, he basically just summed it up. It's like the other pundits want to give this false sense of security, and he's just like, Atlanta had 5 of their players out, and Demirel, who was having a great game, went off. I think they had a midfielder in defence or the under 21 player or whatever. And it's like, you've got one of the greatest goal scorers in the world, right, winning in the 80th minute against you. But it's like, this is papering over cracks here. And he went, if you play that against Liverpool, City, even a bloody like a West Ham, you play like that. Look at Leicester, you play that way against them, they will hurt you. And it's like, to me, if they fight fire with fire, the only thing I could see them winning that way is our poor finishing. And to be fair, this season that's not really been the case. And maybe previous years it has at Old Trafford, but I can't. Surely they wouldn't do that. Like in the past as well, they've sat back. I know the comments were saying, for me, if I'm just talking about players I think can hurt Liverpool from a kind of rival's point of view, I would 100%. They won't do it, but if they played Paul Pogba, I would be worried. And I know he's ill-disciplined, but there's ways to working him into it. I would be worried. If they don't play him, I'll feel a lot better about the game, because he's one of the one players who I think when he does something, he can crucify a defence in one pass. You may put Fernandes in that category, but I think we can outmatch him. So if I think United, they'll just sit back and play on the counter as Trent has previous problems in the past against them. And let's not lie about it. I love Trent, but Rashford's done him a few times. So if Rashford's fit, that's a big issue. And I think it'll just be a case of Liverpool, they'll wait till we give the ball away and just lumping. It's maybe a bit harsh, but it will be a case of just diagonals as quick as you can, turn them over. And that's what I think the plan will be. And he's had success. I mean, has Klopp ever beat Ollie apart from last season at Old Trafford? I don't think so. So it has worked in the past.
I honestly think if we can close them down, right? And I think it means maybe a little bit more of a slightly reserved approach to the game, right? In terms of priority number one is to press, right? And stop their distribution channels. Okay. So we make sure that we stay on the football, recycle the football, retain the football. When we lose the football, they haven't got a fucking second, right? So they don't get the opportunity to get their head up. I think if we allow them opportunity to play football and get their head up with Pogba or anybody, right? Anybody in their midfield, and we start getting balls pinged over the top. I can see issues down our right hand side, right, which is the side you've just highlighted, Conrad. So I can see issues down that. So I think it really does boil down to, and I think patience is going to be absolutely key, to be honest with you. I think if we can just get on the ball and grind them and get a reward, I think that's the way to play the game. So in other words, if we can keep them out and shut them out, I do fancy us to score one, maybe two. Okay. However, if we go into a shootout type scenario where it's an open, free-flowing game of fucking football, where Pogba gets some time on the ball, Fernandes gets some time on the ball, they get opportunities. Ronaldo's only going to come into his own when they have enough play and enough possession to get the ball into the box, right? If he gets the ball to his feet, he's not going to do anything with it. He can do nothing with it. He's scoring tap-ins, he's scoring headers, right? That's what he's scoring. He's scoring stuff after build-up of play. But you notice when he's scoring, you have a lot of pressure, a lot of possession, and he's getting his chances. Yeah. In a game whereby United are starved of the football, he's extremely ineffective, and that's not his game, to be honest with you. So I think
that'll help though, Keith. Do you think, because he won't press?
No, he won't.
Maybe because Cavani would press. Do you think that'll help us? I know you said you're worried about our control, but because there'll not be pressure on our centre backs, do you think that'll help us, allow us to control the game a bit easier than maybe other teams have caused us in the past?
I think they'll be happy enough for us to have the football, and I think they'll be happy enough to have the lion's share of the football, to be honest with you. I think they'll be absolutely all right. And I think where they're going to start to apply pressure is between the middle third, between the halfway line and the 18-yard box. And that's when they're going to get engaged, right? Because they know that if they win the ball over in that position and somebody gets their head up, they're going to ping the ball on. I don't think they're good enough to play through us, to be honest with you. I don't think they will play through us. They're just simply not on the same planet when it comes to that type of football. However, what we've shown is we are susceptible. We are susceptible to, decent long balls over the top, or 2 or 3 quick passes past our initial press for someone to get the head up and play it down the channel. We have shown that we are susceptible to that. And on numerous occasions, we've been relying on Alisson to stand up nice and big and to save the day, right? So I think we need to be a lot more conscious of that, right? And I think it starts at the front three, okay? And listen, I do it with my under 15s, to be honest with you. So my under 15s, right? This different fucking ball game. But all I get them to do at the start of the match is to say, listen, lads, you will get your chance to score, right? You will get your chance to score. But for the team, when the ball comes up, it's going left-hand side. I want you showing, getting on the ball, protect the ball, lay the ball off, right? That's all I want the fucking front three to do, to be honest with you. They will get their opportunity to shine. But in the passage of play where we're building, just fucking protect the ball, lads. Lay the ball back into midfield, move into space, move into better space where you can pick up the ball, and don't fucking cough it up cheaply. If we can do that, I think we'll walk all over them.
Keith, do you want the Newcastle job?
No. There's a lot more to football than fucking under 15, you know, front forward. And I don't fancy getting fucking called a fat cabbage.
Conroy, I don't know whether I've even asked you Liverpool's 11, did I? Did I ask you the 11?
Yeah, no, I think I was just the same back four, same front three. Maybe Jota, but I would go with Bobby. And what do you call it? It was the Milner, Henderson, and Fabinho.
You're playing Milner again, yeah.
I think he will. I think he will. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You know what you get from him. But as you said, he's a 65 minute man where he runs out of Ribena.
Yeah. I'm just concerned he runs out of Ribena at about 35 minutes and then starts.
Listen, Keith, I agree, mate. Yeah, I think it will be Milner. That's what I'm thinking at the moment.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got a huge amount of choice because of the fact that Jones doesn't look.
The other thing, lads, to bear in mind is that, you know, in terms, and this sometimes happens when we play United, the fact that we've gone there last season and beaten them. You know, we've done it in the past where we've rolled them over 2 seasons in a row at Old Trafford, right? So that fucking hoodoo is off. That monkey is off Klopp's back. It's off the players' backs. We've gone there. We've beaten them, okay? So what are we afraid of? What the fuck are we afraid of? You know, we're better all around the pitch. We're better 1 to 11.
Yeah.
You know, better manager. Yeah. Better team. Full stop, lads. Let's go there.
Do you know what we're afraid of? We're afraid of the fucking banter getting beaten and then our friends lashing us out. That's what we're afraid of. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, I'm just afraid of Rashford cutting in and scoring a screamer. That is genuinely the only fear I have because that seems to be the one thing that's went wrong in the last couple of years. Apart from that,
he's the danger man. He seems to be the danger man.
Yeah, he really is.
I mean, yeah, he is the one that's been scored. Just before we go, guys, I'll just get your predictions and we'll have a quick word on the king of Egypt, Mosalah. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. You have turned me around from a 1-1 draw. You've done a great job tonight, lads. 2-1 Liverpool.
We'll win, mate. We're going to win. Dave.
Yeah, 2-1 Liverpool. Mosalah to continue his goal score. Maybe Mane in the mirror. Make that change. Keith, what's your scoreline?
I'm going to go with the scoreline I'd love to see, right? And the scoreline I'd love to see.
Here we go, 7-2.
It's just 1-0. Just 1-0.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. I hate that 1-0. That sounds so horrible.
We do a Salah screamer, right? It's a fucking bore fest, right? We just do what we have to do. We're professional. We you know, and we get a Salah fucking special, or it's a penalty, or it's a fucking bar, it goes in off someone's hole.
Tapping, back post, 1 yard
Bobby no looks fucking tapping at the back post. I don't.
An Allison header last minute.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 1-0.
1-0. Okay. Well, I'll take that as well. Ivan.
I'll go 3-1. I think I do think United are going to score. But I think on Sunday we'll really go Mosalah. You little beauty.
You little dancer.
Yeah.
Conroy?
I think I agree with yourself and Ivan. I do think we'll concede. I just think we always concede at Old Trafford. It doesn't matter how good defensively we are. I would say 2-1 for me. Hopefully it's 3-1, but I think 2-1. I think Salah and I think Van Dijk actually. But the thing with Van Dijk is it's not even his fault this season, really. I mean, even Robbo's set pieces have not been great, but Trent's have not even been. They've been okay at times, some games, but
Tsimikas.
Yeah, but it's, the thing is though, it's but you say you need Tsimikas for a corner, mate. But it's like go Adi Robertson defensively in this game. You're going to shove Tsimikas at Old Trafford. Is that what you're going to do?
I'm not talking about Old Trafford. I'm just talking about in terms of his set piece delivery from assists goal. He's just his.
No, his set pieces are very good, mate. It's very good, but set pieces aren't difficult. So I get very annoyed with players like a Sunday League player can put a good corner in the box. So
will you write a strongly worded letter into Andy Robertson and fucking
mate? I've already tweeted him. I'm like, stop taking corners.
What the fuck? Sort the shit out, will you? Just put it on the penalty spot every fucking time.
Do you know what to do? Right? Stop using the instep. Put your foot through the ball. Right? It's really try something different. Stop trying to whip it. It's not working. And try and find the back post.
Do you want the Newcastle job?
Yes. No. But
he's
in.
It's
no. I agree. You know what? You're right. Shimikas's corners, right? The thing is, Rob will make Shimikas's corners look good. Shimikas is just putting a ball in the area, which literally 50% of footballers should be able to do it. It's really not that difficult.
That's all Beckham did. Yeah.
But like, so say Trent hits a corner, there's more whip on it because it's like a bit like Beckham. It's kind of dynamite to run onto. But if you can just put it in an area, it causes trouble. But yeah, get Robbo off corners, it's not working. I would agree with Shimikas. But for we're saying about what was it? Oh, we've got score predictions. Van Dijk. I feel like our set pieces, bar Shimikas, have not really been on point for Van Dijk to head, because in previous years he's actually, I've been critical. I've said he's missed too many chances, Van Dijk. But this season, I don't think he's really had a chance from a header from a corner. So I think it's going to be different on Sunday. I think Big Verge is going to leap like a salmon and make it 5-0. Right? No, I'm joking.
What do you think of Eamon Kelly? Anthony Taylor will cost us. I'm sure of that. The Manchester United referee. We've had a few days out with.
I don't. Listen, I don't. Be honest with you, I think with VAR and stuff, I think that kind of neutralizes a lot of that stuff. To be honest with you, I don't think we're getting mugged off by referees. Like 4 or 5 of the top referees are all from Greater Manchester, anyway. So. And who's on VAR? Is it Stuart Atwell? I think is on VAR, and we've never lost a game when he's refereeing. So do you know what I mean? So it's like,
it's 50-50.
I think he's all right. They've got bigger fish to fry in terms of their UEFA and world standing as well. So like you could come a cropper for a bad decision based on the crowd baying for blood for something like that, But I don't think he's going to go out to do us. If I'm being honest. I don't think that happens.
We're just going to finish the show in the last 3 or 4 minutes, lads, and we'll talk about. So we're all saying Liverpool are going to beat United the weekend. So let's hope that happens. But Mosalah, I've seen him being interviewed today. I don't know whether you've seen it or not. He's actually clean cut. The hair's cut. The beard's off. He looks ready to sign that contract, baby. He's getting ready for the suit. That's what he was doing in London in Madame Tussauds. I don't know whether you've seen it. The wax figurine of Mosalah. It's unbelievable.
It's quite strange. He's holding his own eye. It was weird. Yeah. It was like he's holding the Madame Tussauds eye. It was a bit dark, to be honest. You're watching. This is a bit start a horror movie here. It was good.
He was fucking John Travolta. John Travolta suit on him.
I tweeted him in the Bee Gees fucking suit. That's what he looked like. But
imagine you got all that stuff going and then he just fucks off to PSG. Imagine.
Jesus. No, I think it's ready to rock. I think it's ready to roll. I know, Conroy. We know Grizz well.
Yeah.
He's on the thing that this is a done deal already. It's just a matter of signing. I don't know about that. I think it's just the ink is almost drying on the contract. What do you think? Yeah. Good answer.
No, I think absolutely. I just think it's.
I think so.
I've said this before. I think see with the world of football right now. I don't like. I know people say like heritage of some teams, but genuinely, if you want to win trophies and he's happy here. Where else is he going to go? And where else is he going to go that he's going to hit the ground running as well? And that's not saying Mosalah is not an outstanding player, but everything around him and the way the team works, he's used to everybody. He's in great form right now, and he'll tell you that. He's in the best form he's probably ever been on. He's the most well-rounded he's ever been on. Goes to PSG. PSG are not going to come in for him. They've just signed Messi. Even if you're looking at a replacement for Mbappe, Mosalah is not a left winger, so that's not going to happen. You're going to put Neymar on the right, and Mo Salah's a right winger. You've just got Messi. That doesn't really make much sense to me. Madrid, Barca,
they haven't got the money.
They're not really appealing. I'm not worried at all. Like, I don't. No. This is the best team for him to be at. The only team who would kind of be at the same level to compete. As he's not going to go back to Chelsea, it's probably City, and that's not going to happen. So I'm really, really not worried at all.
It actually helps us, Conroy, that the other teams are in decline as well, because you always had Madrid and Barcelona sniffing around when they were good, and they're not good anymore. And as you say, PSG have got Messi there, and Mbappe is probably going to leave them next season. But he's probably not happy at Messi coming in there either. Let's be fair. He was the main man there. Messi comes in. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like they're getting on quite well now, because like the other night he gave him the penalty, then he gave the other penalty that Mbappe missed again. But we'll not get into that. But I think
that's also easy when you're playing against fucking farmers week in week out.
What Leipzig got to a semi-final? Was it quarter-final?
They're dairy farmers.
Leipzig are a decent team, to be fair, but what?
No, I don't mean in the Champions League. I mean in the league.
The league.
I know, but that was in the Champions League. They're 2-0 down.
Conroy is on the point tonight, isn't he?
No. What I was saying is, I'm just saying, Messi came in.
Don't let an opportunity for a fucking joke ruin the show.
No. I was saying.
Excuse me.
No. I was meaning like, see how Messi's came in, and it's like you could maybe be like, I'm like Betty Big Bullets when I come in, but he's actually tried to it's kind of Neymar's team. He's came in subtly, if you know what I mean, like that. Whereas if it's someone said if that was Ronaldo for a penalty for a hat trick, he would drop kick Mbappe to get the penalty.
Fucking mother.
So it was. I just found that quite a funny comment. I was like, Messi's just handing the penalties away, and like Ronaldo's running from the subs bench to steal that ball to get the hat trick. But no,
and Messi's like, I've got about fucking 700 goals. So go on. You can
I know he's fine, mate. I don't need another one. You can get that for your most hat tricks if you want, mate. You know, but
so Keith, you think it's a done deal as well, Salah?
I'm
more or less,
same with Conrad. I don't think there's nowhere for him to go, to be honest with you.
Has anybody been worried once about this? No. Am I the only one who's never been worried?
No, to be honest with you, I think the only team that would have really successfully kind of tried to tap him up would have been the Spanish clubs, because they're fucking notorious for it. Exactly, and I think they would have been tapping him up a mile off. And they're just broke as fuck. They haven't got two fucking pennies. Yeah, they haven't got two fucking pots of piss between the two of them. So they've nothing. Yeah. They've nothing. Yeah. So other than that, there probably is the rest of it. Like you look at Chelsea and PSG and City, what they're all going to be doing is fucking washing players amongst to keep themselves on top of FFP. Yeah. That's what they're going to be doing. They're not necessarily going to be tapping lads up. They'll sell a player for 50 million and then sell another player back to them for 50 million. They'll sell them for 50 million, and they're just washing money and players around the league to make it look like they're making money. That's what they'll do, So to be honest with you, I don't really have any concerns. I would question why it's taking so long. There's obviously some terms or some other niggly bits and pieces that are lying around, whether it's image rights or whether it's, I don't know, whatever else it is. Or maybe they're just waiting for the right moments, i.e. off the back of the United win or off the back of the United loss. And that's the best time to announce it, right?
Exactly,
so we either double down off the back of a win at Old Trafford, or we just re-energize the fan base because we've got beaten at Old Trafford with that. And I think that's probably all the way now.
That is the LAFC propaganda thinking right there. Yeah. You're absolutely spot on. That will be the case.
That's the FSG boys working away. That's it. You're on the button there. Ivan, I think just before we go, you're similar. Has to be.
He has to sign. And I think the point about the two Spanish clubs not having any money at the moment makes it even more important, because they will have money in a year or two, guaranteed. So I think
so will Newcastle.
Oh, exactly. Get him signed in. Get him signed in. And I think he wants to be there. And I think, as I said at the start, he can play till he's 36 or 37, and I see him as our centre forward in a year or two.
I agree, mate. Yeah, definitely.
No, what a player! Listen, just be happy we have him. Mosalah, the king of Egypt, guys. I've absolutely loved that. That's fantastic. Conroy. I was going to call you Conroy. We've got to get you on again. You're absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no. Really, enjoyed. Great chat, guys. Great chat. Hopefully, listen. I don't care if it's like if we win at the weekend, we can have a terrible chat that night. A terrible chat. I don't care, but just get that win, mate. Honestly, a 1-0 win, 5% possession, penalty. Do not care, mate. Do not care. Don't care if it's the worst game of football. This game to me is not like others. This game is like just I cannot stand.
It's all about the result. You're basically saying it's about the result, not the performance. Is that what you're saying?
Just about the results. This is not about. There's nothing else. Just the results. It's
I hate losing to them. I hate losing to them so much. Like there's other teams I can respect and I can handle good football and stuff and disappointment. But no, just don't do not lose to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and this. Just do not lose.
Do you know what? Don't let Ronaldo score the winner for fuck's sake. Right, guys.
Hopefully not, boys.
Well, we've just ended it on no. Listen, Liverpool to win on Sunday. I'm saying
5-0.
I've been saying it. He's changed his prediction. He's changed.
5-0.
The Keith saying it and Conroy.
I'm actually going. I'm going out of the county. I'm going to the far side of the country for a night away on Sunday just to fucking watch it on my own.
You're meant to go to the pub to watch that. Anyway, Conroy. Before we go, where can the people in the comments and worldwide watch you, my friend?
Well, if you want, I've got my own channel. It's Conroy Talks on YouTube, and it's more kind of just global football stuff, anything really, and not just Liverpool stuff, just generic football stuff. So you'll see like Dave and stuff. There's just all the communities kind of on there. So if you want to come check it out, it's much appreciated and give it a go. And we'll get the guys on as well anytime soon. But brilliant. And you see me on Day Trippers as well. I've been there, and which is check them out as well. Superb.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole
Great.
LFC community is brilliant, to be honest. I know
Grizz,
it's
you're
like,
with Grizz Can as well, aren't you?
yeah, no, Grizz is good. I was on Carnage last night, and it was a big Grizz.
Yeah.
Grizz is in the know. I think every time we do a show, the
He knows
comments,
everybody.
the comments are like, can I get an update on Manny? Can I get an update on Thiago? Can I get
Yes.
an update? They're just
Yeah.
asking him questions. They're not even bothered about the stream. They're just asking questions. So
Yeah.
He gets some
He's
amount of love and stick in equal measures, doesn't he?
that's probably
Wait,
the
what
best
was it
way to
last
explain it.
Saturday?
Keith.
Last Saturday, I came on with you, Grizz, and Lee,
Yeah, it was
Lee
like
Gunner.
11
It was
11
only meant
o'clock,
to be
yeah.
a fucking like half an hour. I think it was half one or something.
Mate,
What
aye.
the fuck?
Mate, it was
that?
Lee Gunner was like encouraging him to stay on because he's
I
like
know,
he
yeah,
he
he's
said
a
it was
mad
like you'd
fucking-
stay at 2 a.m. It was a good chat. It was a good chat. Actually,
Oh,
it was really
brilliant, brilliant. Well, we're going to get you on again because I've really
I'm
enjoyed
gonna have to
that.
Absolutely.
fly off, lads. Right?
Keith,
So
Keith, we're going to
Yes,
finish
you
it.
soon.
Bang. Ivan, Keith, Conroy, stay safe. Liverpool to beat Manchester United Sunday.